Hi, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance, where we are going for the Executioner's side quest. We visited this guy in, the one quest that we had to do for Miller Peshek to start all this. And now, I assume he's in here. Can I can't get them to come outside. Oh god. I hate that. I'm supposed to open those automatically. Come outside, there you are.
Are you looking for... You sent me to the miller, eh?
What? Well, it was just a sort of...
What is
You're
that?
lucky. He really did owe me, and he was so shocked he gave it all to me. What do you need, then?
Training Houndmaster, okay. Oh, we're not level 15 yet.
Do you know there's a girl crying on your doorstep?
I executed her husband.
What? You killed him?
No, not like that. It was done lawfully. She knew he had it coming.
So then, why...
Folk would like to drive her out of town. She has no one here. For a while, I thought I could take care of her, but it wasn't to be.
Why?
Do you really have to ask? I can't even go to the tavern for company, and no one would sup their ale with me. And when I die, they'll probably push me into a hole with a stick so as not to touch my corpse.
Is it really that bad?
I'm not complaining, mind. It's a well-paid job, if you don't mind being a pariah. They might look sideways at you, too, just for talking to me.
And that's what she's afraid of?
Exactly.
Doesn't that crying girl have any kin?
None she knows of. Poor lass. You could help her, though, if you wanted.
Me? How?
Elishka has no family, but her husband might still have some kin. Nobody will talk to me, but you could find out more.
Why do you want to find her family anyway? Don't you want her to stay here?
I do. She's a splendid woman, but I'd never want to keep her here against her will. The life I lead isn't for everyone.
What would she have to put up with if she stayed with you?
A lot. I can't deny. Most of the townfolk wouldn't give her the time of day, at least not in public. If we had children, it would be even worse for them.
That doesn't sound like a very happy life.
It's not all bad. It's a well-paid job and even respected in a way. And when someone needs a bone set, all of a sudden they forget your reputation.
How can I find out if there's any family?
Try asking Elishka herself. She knows a thing or two about them. But in the end, you'll still have to go and find out something from the bailiff, or from the records at the rat house.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
My thanks, if only for the thought.
The Weeping Woman. I didn't even recognize her when because she was sleeping. I rode past her.
Sent me.
What a way to end up.
Don't despair. It could be a lot worse.
Only death could be worse, and I'm not far from it.
Can I ask about your family? Don't you have any kin left? Someone who'd take you in?
And then I ended up with that man of mine. I always knew he'd get strung up one day.
Don't you have any...
No, they all died of the plague. And then
Didn't your husband have any kin?
Maybe. He mentioned some, but we never went to see them.
Is that all you know?
Yes. But if they're anything like my old man, the bailiff and his catchpolls will know about them.
That's all I need.
Okay, find out more from the bailiff. Okay, so we're going back to over there. Wah. These woods are always a bit treacherous. Fuck you. Just let me ride down here. And then I'm good. Yep, I'm golden. Perfect. Need to go over. There's a bridge here. Yes. Perfect. Only a bit weird to ride this path. Okay, let's go for the bailiff. I should really always remove these stupid markers from the map. They get me so confused. And I don't even know why. But let's just go there. To the bailiff, who always closes his doors, and he's like the only one. The other ones don't even close the doors that I did open in like a special way. Where does this lead? Now I'm very interested to find out where this leads. Now I'm even more interested to find out where this leads. Who lives here? A scribe.
God be with you.
I'd like to ask if...
This knee of mine hurts like hell.
I'd like to ask...
Young man, there's always someone who wants to ask something. What do you need?
I wondered if you could take a look in your books for me, and,
Books? God above, am I to shuffle around here with my knees the way they are?
I could bring you something for your knees.
From some old hag? That's nothing but a load of... Oh! Ow! Oh! Well, I suppose it might be worth a try.
Embrocation.
Good luck, then.
Embrocation. That's something I read. That's trespassing. Okay. I can even take these. Okay. This goes to horse. Something about love poems. Let's look if we can find more books then. I mean, I'm very loud here, but whatever.
What are you doing here? Get lost, or you'll have me to reckon with.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very loud with my clunky armor and stuff.
Are you after something?
Oh. I'm basically robbing if I'm taking anything from there. I wanted to talk to the bailiff before, but whatever.
God save you.
Do you know Elishka? The wife of the man who was hanged recently?
The one that's with the executioner now.
That's her?
Life can be cruel sometimes.
Right. And do you know if she has kinfolk somewhere around?
How should I know? Now, if you don't mind, I'm very busy.
If Elishka stays with the executioner, it'll end up being your problem anyway.
Christ, oh, all right then. Tell the scribe.
Where can I find...
He's suffering with some ailment, so good luck then.
Find more about Elishka's husband's family from the scribe. I already asked him. I need to get him embrocation. The good thing there's an apothecary right here. That hasn't opened yet. How late is it? Okay, it's very early. Yeah, let's wait. To 9. And at 10 he is opened.
God be with. Good luck then.
Embrocation. With E. Rage potion. Got all kinds of stuff here. Add one of those to the basket. But I also want to know whether he says recipes for something that's interesting for me. Effectiveness and better. Don't need that. Recipe for an antidote. Might want that. What's Aqua Vitalis? Nah, don't need. No Bowmans, no Cockerel, no Digestive. A recipe for Marigold Decoction? Don't I already know that? Let's just buy it. We read the Alchemist's Dream already, okay. Yeah, that's not too much. Just do that. Read the recipe. Recipes. Okay, do know the two recipes can get going to the scribe directly. Scribe Wars. This way over. And then up. Czech campaign in Lombardy and Wenceslas. Let's see if there I have that. Czech campaign haben wir but Wenceslas is a book we don't have. Won't. Stupid idiot. Now it's marked as red. Whatever. I'll move it to horse. I recognize that. If it's in the horse and marked as being red, it's actually not red. But we're gonna go for the scribe here.
God save you.
I've got something here for that knee of yours.
Really?
This ointment should help.
Thank you. Let's just hope it works.
Is it possible to find out from the records where someone lives?
You think we keep records of every serf? For Christ's sake, they breed like rabbits.
But I thought that in the rat house, though, in the books...
Boy, the books are for recording pacts, undertakings, punishments, property rights, and so forth. In other words, important things. We don't keep records of serfs.
Eliska won't be happy about that.
Eliska? You don't mean the one who married into the Mishek family?
Yes. Yes, you know her.
Why wouldn't I? I used to play dice with old Mishek years ago. He had a son, a nice, polite lad. How is he?
Oh, you know, he's quite tied up these days.
Well, if you see him, tell him to swing by.
And where are the Misheks living now?
Wow.
A stone's throw from Ratte by the small fish pond.
Thanks.
See you later.
By the small fish pond. Let's see if we can find her. Let's see, where would that be? To the north of Ratte. By the one miller, the next miller. Okay. So, I'm gonna see you when I reach that place. I'm in a bit of a pickle here. I can't fast travel. And I'm stuck on this cliff. Oh god. Okay. Okay. I'll show you in a second what I had wanted to do on the map. This... Wow! This is completely different than this. This shows that you can ride down here. But this shows that there's a cliff here. Would never have went here. I would have run through the forest. Okay. We have to go to the other side of the river and ride that. Well, I'll see you in a second. Okay, and this is supposed to be the mill where Mishek's family lives. Interesting. You little girl. Elderly woman.
What do you want?
I've got information about your daughter-in-law.
Eliska's fine, only she needs...
Never heard of her. Get lost.
She's your nearest kin. Eliska's part of your family, and she really needs you...
I won't help anyone.
I could make it worth your while.
Really?
Your son's widow needs help. She has nowhere to go.
What do I care about some useless girl?
She could help you with the farm. She definitely knows how to take care of things.
A bit of help would come in handy. Send her here, then. But don't let her think she'll be taking it easy. She'll have her work cut out.
That sounds quite...
And if I hear a peep out of her, I'll take a stick to her back.
Fine salvation this is.
That's maybe not the home that I want for her. Maybe that miller there is more normal.
Or give you up for.
Okay, he won't even talk to me. Wow. What an asshole family. Okay, I see you once I reach Ilishka again. And here we reached Ilishka again.
What are you here for?
You're not crying now?
I'm not. I've wept enough for a lifetime.
It's a bit of a change since my last visit.
I haven't had much luck in my life, but I've always worked things out in the end. Tears are no help to anything.
That's true.
So, did you find out something about them?
I did. I found your husband's father and mother, and they're willing to take you in.
But...
They're not very nice people, Ilishka. They'd probably work you to the bone. But you would get fed.
Life is never easy. But at least I'd have a family.
You're right. I'll have another talk with Herman.
Goodbye.
You might be alone here this evening. I have to set a fellow's broken leg in Merhoyed.
You? You can do that.
I can. Folk come to me from all around when they're desperate.
Ilishka's looking better.
She is, but she's not happy. God sent the poor girl great trials.
Indeed.
Did you know her whole family was wiped out by the plague? She was barely 12.
Losing your family isn't easy.
Ah, sorry, I wasn't thinking. So, did you find out anything about that kin of hers?
I have. I tracked them down. They say they'd take her in, but I'm not sure she'd do well there.
Leave that to her. I just hope she'll be better off than now.
I've heard the way you talk about her, and, would you like Ilishka to stay?
You know, Hal, she was always the sweetest girl. When she came with her family to Ratai, still single, she was a sight to behold. And it might surprise you, but she even had a word or two for me now and again. It grieved me when she married that wastrel. It was a foolish idea, but I always thought maybe she and I could... Well, fate likes a good laugh. Now I've strung up her old man. I have her under my roof. After all the years I was thinking of her. I don't want her to leave, but I don't want her to be unhappy here either.
Okay. We talked to him? Started talking to him? I don't think. I think we should talk to her. That was just wrong labeled again.
Have you made your mind up?
I can't decide. I don't know Mishik's kin at all, but at least I'd have a family.
Herman could give you a family, too.
He's a decent, upright fellow. I've met none better, and that's the honest truth. But he's an executioner.
And what's the problem? That the other women won't chat with you down at the creek? Did that sort of gossip ever interest you anyway? He's a fine man, isn't he? He's willing to take care of you, and he has the means to do it, and he wants you. He's so sick with love for you, he can't even sleep.
But did he really say that?
He told me he's been in love with you for years. He said he always thought you were the sweetest girl in Ratai.
It's true. We used to meet now and again and exchange a few words. Well, he always treated me nicely. By all that's holy, you're right. I'll stay here. Take care. Herman,
Yes?
can I stay here with you?
You mean for good?
If you don't want me to.
You can! By God, you can! You've made me the happiest man in the world.
That's exactly the outcome I would have liked here. Great. They'll both like it.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. The main thing is everything worked out well.
It did, thank you. And I want you to have this. God almighty, I've got Alishka. After all these years, me, the executioner, has the woman he loves.
You wanted me to have money?
Thank you, Henry. I've a feeling with Herman I can finally find some happiness.
Yes,
You
that
will.
was what I was
The two of
thinking
you are made
about.
for each other.
That was what I was thinking about. She will be happy. And she wouldn't be happy with her family, and she wasn't happy with her husband. And here's the washing basin, you stupid woman. You sleep over there. There's a washing basin. Why were you that dirty? God damn it. Okay, this is where I parked my horse. Now we can move on to the Neuhov Quest, because we have a good at least 10 minutes left in this episode. So I'll meet you when we get over to Neuhov. And we arrived at Neuhov, where Soratsik's horse is still standing in front of it, but he is at the other side of the country, which is great. Hey Zora.
God's blessings.
What?
I'd like you to show...
Certain.
We are not at 15 yet? Or are we?
I'd like you to show...
Certain.
I want to achieve...
All right, but it'll cost you.
She's
Now
back.
pay.
New level in horsemanship. We had 15 yet. We're now at 50? We were at 14 plus 1. We had that plus 1 buff from... Wearing spurs increases your horsemanship skill to an extent that depends on their quality. That was it. Okay.
Do you need a hand with anything around here?
I certainly do. After what happened, I don't know where to begin. Throw out everything that's burnt, hire new stable boys. But why bother? There's just no point anymore. Especially since no one will buy from me. Our best customer was Sir Divish of Talmberg. He paid handsomely for our horses. But now my husband is... Now he's been murdered. His lordship has stopped buying.
Why?
Although we still breed excellent steeds.
Then why would he stop buying from you?
I don't know, really. But maybe you could find out? Take our dabbled grey and show him to his lordship. He's a fine steed. A bit of a devil, but fast as the wind. That ought to convince Sir Divish.
The sport of kings.
Why me? Why not go yourself or send a stable boy?
I need all my stable boys here, and besides, you've got his lordship's ear, so I'm sure I can trust you.
But how? Do you want to race?
Race? I can't go running around like a March hare just to win some custom. I've got my dignity.
No, not you. A horse race. The winner will determine who Sir Divish buys from.
Ah, I see. And I was afraid I'd have to try and outrun people half my age with these old aching knees of mine.
All right, I'll go and ask Sir Divish. Maybe I can find out what's going on.
That would be very kind of you, lad. Please send him my respectful greetings. Goodbye.
Okay. Saddle Zora's dappled grey. Okay, the saddling itself will not be easy. Let's ask... Okay, I wanted to ask Ginger about what's special about this one. We're looking good. We're at 15 horsemanship. We should be able to inspect the horse. It is less speed, more capacity, more courage, more stamina. Mount. Bring the dappled grey horse to the Talmberg stables.
Yeah.
Okay, to the Talmberg stables. It's number A up there. Yeah, of course it's number A up there. The bridge that I know of is this one. Right, most straight, as straight as we can for it. This should be an easy quest. I'll leave you here all the way. Oh god. This one controls weird.
Yeah.
It's like something's wrong with the steering wheel on this car. So like if you go a bit left and then he wants him to go more left, and sometimes he just go in a different direction. Like it's like if you have a car and the steering wheel is slightly misaligned. It feels weird. It's maybe it's just the girdles and saddle and stuff that I have on my other horse that make it so much more controllable. Okay, this is nothing that's really interesting to see, so I'll skip you to whenever something interesting happens along the way, or alternatively all the way to Talmberg. Okay, nothing interesting happened. What did you do, horse?
There's people walking here.
Nothing interesting had happened on the way here, I just wanted to say. And then he turned off auto
This one is from Neuhov.
riding.
Take good care of him for me.
Welcome, Henry.
Talks to Sir Divish about the race. Am I stupid, or did she never mention the race? Talk to Sir Divish about a race. Okay. A race would be longer than any other. A race would be longer than what we have left now for today's episode. So we'll go over there, up that road that we can see there on that hill towards the huntsman. I'm gonna see you there. And we reached the hunter's estate. I rode through here, so I remembered his quest. On my way with the grey dappled.
I'd like to make you an offer. I've been appointed bailiff of Pribyslavitz. We're resettling the place, and I need a huntsman there. What do you say?
Ah, Henry, I'm already Sir Divish's master huntsman. That'd be a step down for me. Sorry, but you'll have to find someone else. Take care.
Can I do any... I don't think that I can do any training here.
Can you help me with...
Certainly.
Nope.
Well, Master Huntsman, is there any work for me here?
There's always something that needs doing. You're that Skalitz lad, aren't you? Sir Radzig's lackey.
That'll be me.
Right. I saw you here shortly after the attack. My word, to get away from Talmberg like that, quite remarkable. It's clear you're not easily scared. So I do have a job for you.
I'm listening.
We've been having terrible problems with poachers lately. In Sir Divish's forests, we've been finding gutted entrails of deer and rabbit nooses all over the place. But no sign of the bastards who put them there.
And you want me to track down the poachers?
Indeed. Whatever you learn will be useful to me.
Do you suspect anyone?
Well, it's hard to say, but seeing how much harm they're causing, I'd say they're no crofters looking for a Sunday roast.
Shouldn't you be dealing with the poachers yourself?
I should, you're quite right. But when I ask the local folk anything, their mouths close up like clams. They're more scared of me than the devil.
Do you think the locals are in on it?
Well, I don't know, maybe. But even if not, they'll never talk to me. They're scared I'll dig some skeleton out of their cupboard. You know, the smaller the village, the bigger the secrets. That's why I need an outsider to ask for me.
I understand. I'll try to find out something about them. Any advice about where to start?
Certainly. Ask around the village. Somebody must have seen or heard something. And it wouldn't hurt to ask in the inn in the glade, the one on the road towards Neuhov. I've heard they serve good venison, and no shortage of it.
That's clear enough. As soon as I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thanks for your help, lad. Good luck, then.
Okay, we have two things going on in this quest. So... check out the inn in the glade. What about the other quest? Does it have no marker? Ask around the village. Optional, find the Tarnberg poachers. I know of one poacher in the woods. Is it this wood though? I know of one poacher over there. Let's try to ask like one or two villages, like the innkeeper. He might buy the game from him. Yeah, Margaret is the hunter's wife, I think.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If you ask me, there's some questions best left unanswered. But go and see Elena if you're determined. That old gossip will tell you all there is to know.
Olena. Olena is somewhere down here. I wanted to ask her Olena is in the tavern. Perfect. So my first thing of thinking to go for the tavern was right. This little bridge, it's always hard to find from the other side, so I always come weird ways to this tavern. She isn't even here. She's over. She just left the tavern. She just brings her shit upstream so that the tavern reeks like shit. Or other way around.
Good health to you.
I heard there are poachers in the woods round here.
If only if it was just poachers. It's that sorcerer Hare. He's the one who's been running amok. I said he'd be back, and I said he'd be vengeful, and I was right both times.
Hare.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here one day. No one rightly knew where from. He claimed up at the castle to be a nobleman's son, and so he got the office of Master Huntsman, and Margaret was promised him for his wife. Nobody could have known he was a sorcerer.
And how did his sorcery reveal itself?
Well, he was able to vanish into thin air in the forest right in front of folk. And I've heard it said he spoke to animals, too, though I don't know the truth of it.
That doesn't sound very convincing to me.
That's because you've not seen his marksmanship. It wasn't natural, the things he could do with that bow of his. They say he sold his soul for the gift of it.
I see. How did it go with Margaret?
I'm not one to gossip, but she was a flighty lass in her younger years. She could never make up her mind which one she wanted, the Hare or Nicholas. So in the end, fate decided for her.
What do you mean? What happened with Hare?
Oh, that was quite something. And then some on top of it. Sir Henry of Lipo was visiting here at the castle, and Hare snapped his guardsman's neck with his bare hands. Of course, they found him out. But how do you keep a sorcerer under lock and key? You can't. That's your answer. And that Satan's spawn slipped the net.
Oh, well, it's quite a wild story. Any idea why he murdered the man?
No one knows, and most likely never will. But they say he was fully in the devil's power. There was a full moon, you see.
Was he actually seen killing the guardsman?
I suppose so. else they'd hardly know who did it, would they?
That's probably true. There is one other thing I want to ask. Has anyone actually seen this Hannekin hare? He seems to exist only as a bogeyman to frighten naughty children.
Oh, he exists all right, but he flits around in the forest like a shadow. They won't be catching him anytime soon, but Blacksmith's Betty heard some of their goings-on in the woods.
Goings-on? What's that supposed to mean?
Cavorting and raising hell. Sorcery! Hare meets up with his sorcerer's apprentices, and they feast in the clearing in the woods. In the morning, they turn into ravens and scatter. Or so she says. But you'll have to ask Betty for more. Who knows what she saw? Or what she was doing there with them?
Very well. I'll ask. Who does Hare want revenge on?
Master Huntsman Nicholas, of course. When the hare disappeared, Nicholas took his Margaret and the huntsman's posting.
So Nicholas came out of it well?
That one always knew how to land on his feet.
Thanks. I think I know all I need.
Take care.
Wow, that was a lot. So basically they had another huntsman before, and she thinks it's him because he has a personal grudge against Nicholas. So we are following the gossip part of it now with all like the fairy tales and stuff. And on that side we have the guy that bought the meat from the poacher down here. And that's the normal poacher story. This one is the fairy tale story, and I'll like to follow the fairy tale story further. So let's talk to Blacksmith Betty. Blacksmith's Betty, I suppose, with an apostrophe S. Oh no, I went to the point again where I have to jump the river. I don't want my clothes to get all dirty and wet again. Okay. Can't even use the basin. Okay. She's somewhere north. Now I'm completely... What the... What's she doing over there? She went away. She is fleeing from me. I must get her. There she is. Oh, it's all of them that are only pointed at being at the river because they just
God grant you health. How may
put
I
their
help
shit
you?
bucket there.
I've got a few questions about these poachers.
So ask.
I heard you saw something fishy in the forest.
That's right, I did.
Can you describe what you saw?
It was after dark, I remember that. I went up past the castle along by the clearing, and I saw someone had lit a fire, and there were figures singing and dancing, and I could hear the whistling of a pipe. And I could smell roast meat. It was like a feast of some sort. Only I thought maybe it was some witch's Sabbath, so I was afraid to stay too long in case they saw me.
Did you recognize anyone there? Someone from the village, maybe?
No. Like I said, it was dark. All I could see was shadowy figures moving around.
Did you hear any familiar voices?
No. But I heard girls' laughter, goblets clinking, a piper playing. It sounded just like any feast.
Where is the clearing?
A short walk north of the castle. There's a track past the woodcutter's camp that takes you there.
Thanks. What do you make of this poaching that's been going on? You mean to say his wife's cheating on him?
All I'm saying is she might be feeling the urge. It happens in the best of families.
Well, you're the first who's certain of Hare's return. So far, I've just heard vague rumours.
Well, now, I wouldn't say I'm completely sure. I suppose some other mischief maker could have done it, but better the devil you know. And everyone hereabouts knows Hare.
You were singing a different song not long ago.
So? Why do you want to know so much, anyway?
It's nothing to you, but I'm helping Nicholas unmask that local poaching gang.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. And you also know not to keep anything from me. So, what's the story with that hair?
All right, I'll tell you what I know. But promise not to tell Nicholas I said it.
I'll do what I can, but I need to let him know what I discover. So, out with it.
It's to do with Margaret, his wife. They say it's all because of her.
Keep going.
I know full well Hare's here, because Margaret admitted as much.
What did she tell you?
That he waited in the woods till she came by and they exchanged some words. Words was all she told me. Who knows what they actually got up to?
And what did they speak about?
I don't know. But if Nicholas knew they'd met, he'd most likely kill her.
You're sure she wasn't saying it in jest?
Oh no. Margaret wouldn't joke about something like that.
Who's this Hannekin Hare, anyway?
Hannekin Hare? There was a time he was master huntsman here, and Margaret was set to be his wife. But then he got himself accused of murder, and fled before they could hang him. Margaret and his job both ended up going to Nicholas.
So what's the story between Hare and Margaret?
It was complicated. He wanted her, and she wanted him too, I reckon. At least for a while. But then she hitched up with Nicholas, and now she says she never had a thought of wedding Hannekin Hare.
So what went on between Hare and the huntsman?
Those two? There was no love lost between them from the moment Hare arrived. And then Margaret got involved. It was a messy business.
Do you think Hare really killed that man?
Who knows the truth of it now? I did find it all a bit odd. Hare never was much of a hothead. But then again, no one really knew him that well. And Margaret never wanted to speak of it. Wouldn't hear a word about it.
That's all I need.
Take care.
Okay. That's all we learned from the blacksmith Betty, but we have to talk to Margaret, that's the huntsman's wife, more. Then, for whatever reason, the game crashed. Fuck! Fuck! I just lost a bit of progress. See you when the game's up again so that we can gauge how much progress I lost. Where are we? Okay, I need to talk to 2 of the villagers again, and after that I'll read you a book and end the episode there, and we'll do the rest of the quest tomorrow. I'm not in the mood to do much more in this episode, so see you in a moment with the reading. So I talked with both the girls again, and now I'm going to the tavern. I wanna have you be a part of me trying to search for that stupid bridge. Is it that easy to find? Yeah, it's easy to find when you come from this side. If you come from the other side, you always go one too early. Okay. We're going in. No, we're reading here where we have proper lighting. And we're reading the book that I accidentally read this episode, which was Wenceslas IV. He is the ruler of the lands of Bohemia and the former king of the Roman Empire, although many evil of tongue do say he is no true king and side with his half-brother Sigismund. In the year of our Lord 1361 he was born unto Emperor Charles IV and his wife Anna of Schweidnitz, and through the right of primogeniture did inherit the throne from his father. Primogeniture, this is the first son inherits. Primo. Primus is Latin for first. At the young age of but 2 years old, he was crowned King of Bohemia, and at the age of but 15 he sat upon the throne of the emperor, both actions that aroused outcry, for to crown a new king whilst an older one is still alive is neither an ordinary nor common, and all the same the young king cannot rule until he reaches adulthood. When later King and Emperor Charles died and Wenceslas rightfully sat upon both thrones, he ruled well at first, but poor councillors and unwise rulers of the lands of Europe did vex him greatly, and thus the king, abandoning his initial enthusiasm, turned his attention instead to drinking and hunting, and thus in the empire did discontent with the new ruler grew. and Wenceslas, instead of reconciling conflicts, fled from them, for he did not need to resolve them. And thus it came to be that he did not go to receive his crown, for he desired not to enrage the French, who at that time had their own pope in Avignon, and he did cause such indignation in the Margraviate of Moravia that Jobst of Moravia had him imprisoned until the king resolved the troubles in his country. But in place of resolving conflicts, Wenceslas's disregard for proper rule persevered, and he was freed by his brother John. Discontent grew, many other noblemen did protest, and a League of Lords was formed to remove Wenceslas from the throne, and on it they would have preferred to see sit his second brother Sigismund, who ruled in Hungary at the time. Wenceslas heeded neither warning nor threats of the lords, and continued to rule as he saw fit, or rather to devote himself to amusements, and when the lords had no more patience for him, and a rebellion against him broke out, he requested the assistance of his second brother Sigismund, to whom he had entrusted the rule of the land. He, however, did not help his brother, but took his royal castles and imprisoned Wenceslas, for not just rule did Sigismund take, but the crown of Bohemia as well, which a certain fraction of the lords did welcome, for they were glad to see order and law restored in the kingdom. In these days, King Wenceslas remains Sigismund's captive, while Sigismund, the ginger fox, plunders Bohemia. And that's our story about Wenceslas IV, which is too early to write like that. It's like in front of it, like he was just abducted. You can't write a story like that when he was just abducted. But whatever. Who am I to critique all those game devs for their game mistakes? Let's just have everyone ready again. Okay, let's save so that we don't lose progress again. And then we're gonna see us tomorrow with the next part of the Huntsman quest, I think. So I'll next go to Margaret, and after that ride towards the Inn of the Glade. And at the very last point I'll investigate north. So, see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.